He just won't tell you.
Right.
No, he'll tell you. He's just busy. Oh no, that one is that one's custom.
We're back, boys. We really we're sorry for the delay today, but we had some shit going on. We had to get Miles' boat fixed. They got a tournament tomorrow night. You know what it is, boys?
You're not gonna get here.
No, I did.
Oh, you did pick up on the game. Here,
Put these in that.
You say you can't hear anything?
I'm making this pieces. This
That's the mic. Those are headphones. I bet it takes a minute to get used to it.
You have a pretty important outfit in there.
Did we? Oh, right.
Oh, snap.
Anybody tuned into Saginaw Bay MLF or the St. Clair Bully Series? Beat. Just straight beating on
Beating on 'em.
24 pounds a day of smallmouth. Tucker Smith at 26 today.
Remember that time we had 23 on Paolo?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Boston had like what?
Yeah, 22 too. In December.
I've never done it in a tournament, but three times out fun fishing I've ever done. Oh, but it was all in the spring.
I bet the only 20-pound bags I've ever had is
Yeah, mine was all three of mine. were good.
Christopher Dollar said he's taking the James table. Good luck, man.
Nice. Is there a big bass lash there, or you just
Fishing for
haven't had
dollars. What's up, buddy?
that? I know he likes those. He likes those big bass tournaments, man.
Are we live on the
All
Instagram?
right, y'all. We're
Who
live.
knows? Probably not.
Nah, we're live on the gram.
Are we?
There
Cool.
we go.
What about the YouTube?
What's up, boys?
Did we get YouTube?
We're live on Gram. We're live on the YouTube. We're live on the Facebook. That's what I'm talking about.
So we apologize for being late, but we had to get Miles's boat squared away. For you guys that joined in on our,
We had several issues.
yeah, if you joined in on our impromptu live earlier, you saw us, and as Patrick says, it looked like two monkeys screwing a coconut. That's because he had me as a mechanic. So that's if I have to work on your boat, it's a bad day. You don't want that. You definitely don't want that. Although I was on point with the.
It always gets fixed though.
Yeah. It just ain't.
It
just
does
doesn't-
always get
It just
fixed.
doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like.
I
So,
mean, it's better than $200 an hour in labor.
They have a tournament tomorrow. Miles had the Ultrex foot pedal sensor. That was
Yes.
bad.
Yep.
And then he also had the oil injection sensor
You know what, Patrick? It
on
works.
the old Evinrude Bombardier.
I think
That went bad.
I think the sensor is bad. However,
So,
I got
It's fishable.
I got all the air out of the
ha!
line.
Frank!
Run
Fuck
it.
yeah! Frank knows what's up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But we want to welcome Miles onto the show. Miles hasn't been on the show in probably over a year now at this
At
point.
least.
Yeah,
At
it's
least
been
a
it's
year.
been a while, so it's good to have you back on the show, buddy. And I hope the boat works out for you tomorrow after the work that we did, and you guys go out there and catch some fish.
As long as we make it back.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Well, I mean,
as
we're
long as I
not-
don't get towed in again.
No, Jim. See, the problem was we're trying to put the pin back in, and I'm assuming I was not here when they took it apart and fixed it.
the
And I'm
YouTube
assuming
video-
that they did everything that they should have done, and they never loosened the freaking tension screw for the cable, which meant we couldn't manipulate it to get it lined up. And once we undid that, it took us about 5 minutes to get
Yeah.
everything back together.
Yeah, we screwed the pooch on that a little bit. But again,
But it's fixed.
if you have to
Put that in the freezer section.
if you have to hire me as a mechanic, it's not good. It's just you're not. It's a bad day. Where the hell's the freezer? That ain't-
Up in the top there.
It don't. Only
It flips up. There you go.
It does fit. Look at that. All right.
That jar smacks, boys.
So, the big announcement for tonight is next week. We are going to have the Gunpowder River Keeper on. I talked to him today. What did Jim say?
I was
Yeah,
coming the whole
I was-
time like a dad yelling to hold the hell on the
I
flashlight.
have Jim. I have no idea what was happening. Patrick said that people were commenting.
We
but
couldn't see the comments.
It wasn't popping up on the show. We can see all your comments now. Patrick, there's Patrick right now. Patrick, we appreciate you guys messaging us. One of the messengers saying that you guys were commenting. They weren't popping up for some reason, but we wish that they were. It was
Yeah, we couldn't
it's one
see
of
the
those
comments.
things. But you kind of got priorities.
It happens.
The boys got to go fishing tomorrow.
It happens.
Right? The boys got to go fishing tomorrow. So we made it happen.
But yeah, so next week, for you guys that have been following us on Facebook and just in the area, right? The Days Cove permit for wastewater dumping. There's a lot to talk about there. I know I talked to the Gunpowder River Keeper, Paul. I think you talked to him as well. Mr. Theo, real nice guy. He's going to join us next week and talk about the.
As well as possibly Scott Sewell.
Yep. So we're gonna get into it and talk about what all that shit means, and what's the so what, right? Because like I have a room temperature IQ, so when I read the Facebook posts, I'm like, I don't know what this means. But Mr. Theo's gonna come on. He's gonna tell us. What the
Who's
permit-
AJ Miles?
AJ Hall?
Says Miles been waiting for AJ at the ramp for a year.
Oh, that's one of my buddies.
Even with a room temperature IQ, you should understand that dumping untreated wastewater into a
Yeah,
river,
yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah.
So I get that, but like.
Nothing good is going to come from this
What I
whatsoever.
don't get is when I click on it and I'm reading the permit and it's like becomes a chemistry equation on like how much potassium or nitrogen, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this shit
That
does.
was one of the
Just know
things
that
I
was
did
bad.
read. That is one of the things I did read where I was
There's
like,
like
what is that?
50
But
Different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
it was 50 different things. But the other thing that it said was something about solids, which to me is
Like poop?
dumping like silt.
Like raw sewage.
It's dumping like silt into the pond, which is like, so how long is it going to take when you dump 12,500 gallons a day, and there's so much percentage of silt that's going to silt in the entire area?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
like we
like-
don't have that issue now with the gunpowder, which we do. And I'm gonna make a huge point here. Which, how many years was it that the fish kill happened? 8 years.
Almost 10.
Almost 9.
Well, it was
Almost 9 years.
2016.
It's
Almost
15
10 years
it's
ago.
15,
I can
16.
almost
It'll be
guarantee
9.
you.
It'll be 9 years in December.
I will
Yes.
guarantee you that one of the reasons that this happened is illegal dumping from the same exact landfill at a time of the year that is not noticed. You don't have as many anglers on the water. You don't have as many hunters on the water at this time of the year. They're dumping into the area. It causes a big problem. It caused an algae bloom, and it killed off all the fish. And not to mention, so like that was 9 years ago. Even up to now, currently, we have no aquatic vegetation in the Gunpowder River the way that we used to. There
Yeah, but
is
that-
no aquatic vegetation.
SAV.
There's some. There's a lot right now, actually. Like
But it's
way
in the
more
river.
than I've seen the last couple of years.
in the
It's
river.
not the same that it used to be.
No.
The way that it
That-
used to
that
be,
died off 3 years
my
ago.
John boat wouldn't make it from the outside to the inside of the coves because it would get so caught up with
Yeah.
hydrilla and everything. It's not that way anymore. And
Yeah, that happened
We don't-
like 3 years ago.
3 to
think-
4 years ago.
Yep.
We don't have the scientific proof to say that it is because of dumping, but what else actually could it be? Like, is it really because of silt coming down because
Could be-
of construction?
Silt, storm,
Silt,
storms.
storms, and
there's a lot
illegal
of things.
dumping.
But,
Illegal
that's what I told you.
biochemical dumping.
Not biochemical, just chemical.
Chemical, biochemical, I mean, whatever. They try to label it as biochemical.
Well, biochemical would be like human waste. So I mean, it could be biochemical, but chemical would just be like your normal waste.
See, as I sat back and I think about it years ago, like I always thought the runoff from trash was like
Damn it.
just like rainwater runoff. So what
Well, it depends on what's in the trash.
what is the runoff though? Is what I'm asking. Like if you're burying trash in the ground, what is this 12,500 gallons of runoff that you want to dump into the
It's not runoff. I
gunpowder
don't
a
think
day?
it's-
Like what is it?
I don't think it's necessarily runoff. I need to look into it more, and I need to talk to Theo about it. But
Yeah.
I think it's the water that they process, like that they're using in the area, instead of, because they do have like a retention pond.
Is that the
back
one
there?
when you're way in on the
It's on the left, yeah.
Yeah. There's always a bunch of ducks in there. I want to
So
shoot them.
I feel like they're trying to dump like their whatever water they're using on the facility into there versus just runoff, because runoff's runoff, right? You can't really control runoff. It's just gonna run off.
I like
Well, you're not
Jim's
gonna tax
comment.
me.
High
It's a
nitrogen,
corporation.
high nutrients causes high algae blooms.
Yes, correct.
Which sucks oxygen out of the water, which
So-
is exactly what we dealt with.
But wait a minute. But
Well,
on,
it sucks
on
the
the
oxygen.
flip side,
It sucks the oxygen out of the water when it dies.
but on the flip
Right.
side of that,
When that
wouldn't-
algae dies off.
wouldn't high nutrients in the spring cause high grass growth?
No,
No.
It doesn't work like that.
no.
Okay, because it does on solid land. If you have high nutrients, you have good growth.
Different. Yeah, I mean it's.
Do
That's
me a
just
big
me
favor,
being
everybody.
ignorant.
If you're watching the share right now, I know we're on a little bit late. Hit that like and the share button for us if you're watching. We have 11 viewers. Like, share. Let's try to get some more people in here. We need to make the situation more aware what is happening on our local river system right now.
I really want
That-
you guys to to tune in next week. For
Yeah,
this.
next week is
Like-
going to be big.
Please, anybody, get your friends to watch the show next week. Anybody spread the word, because we will have the experts on next week to talk about it that can answer these questions that we have.
Yeah, fishing for dollars. High nitrates kills. It's very true.
When's the actual meeting?
September
Friday.
18th.
Oh, so I thought it was the 12th.
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 Either way,
At the something library.
we
right?
need to make
Perry
sure
Hall.
that it is made a point to all the anglers and whether you bass fish, whether you're out there for snakehead,
Bowfish.
it doesn't bow fishing, whatever it is, man. The aquatic vegetation brings all of us to the gunpowder.
Yeah.
The aquatic vegetation is what holds so many of the fish. Without this aquatic vegetation, there is no fish. They either die or they move out. And we need to make sure that whatever this is that they are planning to do stops.
And this
Because
isn't just going to affect the aquatic vegetation. Like
it's going to
this stuff
affect
that they're
everything.
The stuff that they're dumping could potentially affect just life, like
Period.
in general. Whether you're talking fish, you're talking
Crabs.
turtles, crabs, crayfish. Like this has a very far-reaching impact.
Yeah, it's
And
going to
so,
be a big deal. I mean, it's going to affect a lot.
I want to talk about one thing here really quickly that I've definitely noticed over the past couple years, from the 3 to 4 years, where we've seen that aquatic vegetation start to die off out at the top of the river, or at the bottom of the river.
Yeah,
should I
like
say?
just inside the bridge. Like a
Yeah,
big
just
flat
inside the bridge.
Yeah. There's a little grass out there this year.
So like you will find that grass is still heavily growing up above the big gunpowder, up above areas where people can't reach.
Well, it's still
For the most part, other than kayakers, like you'll see that there's still a good aquatic vegetation up there. But when you come down below that line, that aquatic vegetation dies. And
Well-
I'm a strong believer that that is because of the chemicals that are being dumped or the runoff that is coming from this landfill
I don't
that we're
necessarily-
not even talking about. Like there's already runoff happening from this landfill that nobody's even talking about.
But that runoff's also been happening. So here and like I'm not saying that you're wrong.
It's a problem though.
It's definitely a problem.
Yeah, but the runoff
But
didn't start
that
yesterday.
runoff didn't start 3 years ago. That runoff started decades ago, and we have
Yeah.
good. Plus, there is a shit ton of grass on the if you come in by the duck blind over to the left, like towards
It's
the Burnham
right.
River.
So like where it used to come out way farther away from shore, it's right up against the
No,
bank now.
it's way out now.
Oh,
it
is
just
it?
came up. It just came up in the last couple
not,
weeks.
It's not the same as it was.
It's
not the same as it
It's
was.
super thick over there. I fished over there last night. It's
is.
super thick.
Shouldn't it be like that?
It's way better, way
in
more
June?
than it was last year.
What you say, Miles?
Shouldn't it be that thick in June?
Yeah, it should.
It should be
It's like
exactly.
2 months- 2 months
exactly.
late.
So, if you
Talk into the mic.
My bad.
So the flats didn't get matted up until late this year either. So I think it might a lot of that might
Thomas,
have had
what's
to do
up,
with
brother?
the weather that we had in the spring, because we had those like it got warm, then it got cold, it got warm, then it got cold.
We also had a weird winter.
Yes, very cold winter.
Yeah, it was
Because the
really
grass
shit,
like
really cold.
there's more grass in the Quarry Canal than I've seen in 3 or 4 years. Like the Quarry Canal has an 8-foot grass line coming off the left hand side, which is crazy. Like I haven't seen it that thick
Back in the
a
day,
long
it
time.
would cover the entire channel.
Not in the Quarry Canal.
In
Not the Quarry Canal,
in the
but-
Clearwater wood.
Out on the other side of the big
Yes.
the big gunpowder channel, it
Yes,
would.
I agree. But like I said, there's definitely a lot more grass than there
What's
was
up,
last
Little
year.
John?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think that the big, like, yes, you're right in saying that there's definitely some sort of issue regarding the runoff that comes from Days Cove, right? But at the
No,
end
I'm
of the
not
day,
saying. Yeah, I'm agreeing that it's an issue.
Yeah, right, like-
I'm thinking that the grass issue may not be totally related to that.
I
is
think the
what I'm
grass.
saying.
I think the grass issues is a combination of a lot of things. I think it's a combination of inside the bridge. I think it's a combination of the Foster Branch issue
Yep.
and the salinity,
Yes.
right?
Foster-
But
Foster Branch.
let's not forget that
we-
like a couple
True.
years ago.
Yeah, that's a good point. The salinity, because we've been until this year we were in drought conditions for like 4 years,
But let's not forget that
which is going to move the salinity.
not very long ago, there was a grass bed that ran from the bridge to Maxwell Point.
Yes.
Oh God,
So
the
that's
whole way
dead.
around.
There's nothing there.
right, so
Nothing.
that's not related to Days Cove.
There's a little bit
not to say that Days Cove doesn't have some sort of responsibility in something, but at the end of the day, it's a landfill immediately next to an estuary. There's going to be problems,
Right.
Right, regardless
And like I
of
said,
what they
you
do.
know, yeah, that's been
So-
like that is that is an issue. Like I'm not saying that that's not an issue. I'm just saying that the grass issue may not be related to that. It may be a separate issue. I don't think it helps by any means, but like Tony said, we have that grass bed that we used to go all the way around. I mean, from the bridge all the way around to Maxwell Point,
Right.
and like that's all gone now. There's a little bit of spotty grass over toward Maxwell Point, but nothing worthwhile. I mean, there's only one spot outside the bridge that I know of that has any grass.
So I have a comment from Scuba Steve who's texting in. Is it the salinity? Why is there a ton of grass in Dundee and Middle River, but the grass
Well-
and the gunpowder alone?
There's a lot less grass in Dundee
died
this year.
out.
There's a lot
There
less grass.
is a
in
lot
Dundee.
less grass in Dundee
I've
this
noticed
year.
that. So
Yeah.
obviously with my boat situation, I haven't been out much.
And that,
but
and that could be because of the winter that we had too. Because there was a lot of grass in Dundee last year, and there's not nearly as much this year. So maybe that could have something to do with that. But
obviously,
different kinds of grass too. Most of there was
Thomas Arens from Fishing the DMV says chemicals, settlement, the Chinese. It could be a bunch of different things.
yeah. I honestly I don't know what the cause is for the grass. Like we're just making educated guesses on possibility. Of educated hypotheses, not even guesses.
I know that last
Of
year,
what it might be.
This time last year, when I would go down to my shore, because I have a house that's off Saltpeter Creek, I would go down. It's a shack, really, but I would go down there to do shit, and like the grass was matted from the ramp all the way across. This year, there's no grass.
Well,
Like none.
It's
so
not.
here's the.
But you got to realize that a lot of this problem is happening from the big gunpowder to a certain point and down. Because if you go up the big gunpowder, you have lots of
Yeah.
grass. But when you come down the
And that
big
makes-
gunpowder, it's all dead.
But
so
the
it's
big gunpowder
so
makes
is that
sense.
a
It
is
makes
that a
sense.
bay is that a bay issue? Because what you're saying essentially is the stuff that's less affected by the tide is good.
I would agree.
Yes.
I would agree with that.
Right.
You know, which makes me
Less
think that it's
salinity,
coming
too.
out of the
Which
bay.
makes me think. I think that those chemicals are coming down from Days Cove, and then they're going to different places, and then
They're not. There's way too much water for it to affect the stuff out in like.
12,500 gallons a day is a lot of water.
There's billions of gallons of water though. That's
I get it,
that's
but
a drop.
what is the content of
Also-
the chemicals that they
again,
are planning to dump?
Remember that runoff. Well, I'm not saying
It
that
can
the
it can
dumping is
add
different.
up after a certain amount of days.
That's been happening for decades. The runoff has been happening for decades.
So,
It's
but
not the same as a straight full-on dump.
So-
but they're not dumping right now.
but the important thing,
they
and
do dump, and
Well, they're
we
not-
just don't know. About
They're
it.
not dumping.
so the
officially.
important thing to realize here,
If they're dumping now, they were dumping 20 years
The
ago.
They
important-
dump in the wintertime when nobody's out.
so maybe they do.
It's been happening.
The important thing to realize,
It's hearsay.
The impor-
Nobody's witnessed it. Nobody's seen it happen.
But do you not believe that they are dumping
I don't.
in the wintertime?
I
Like
don't
they-
I don't just make assumptions.
Do you
on
not
things
just
like that.
disbelieve though?
I don't make any assumptions.
The
on that.
thing-
I don't
here-
have
here's
an
what's
opinion
important.
on
I
it.
completely believe that they would do something like
They
that.
all dump.
I
yeah.
don't. I won't make an assumption on something
what it
without
is.
any sort of evidence.
what
Like,
here's
there's
the
no
deal,
real-
right?
There's no evidence that says that they are dumping.
Fish kills don't just happen randomly when you have a healthy ecosystem.
They, yes,
They can, yes, they can. Absolutely.
It doesn't happen that way.
Now the
It does. Yeah, 100%.
the suspect part of that is two in the near vicinity. That's the suspect part. Now that being said,
Right.
the
when a
fact of
year
the
apart.
matter is that the permit hasn't changed since what was the last time it was reevaluated?
92, I think is what they said.
So
or something
the
like that.
permit hasn't
No,
changed.
No, it was before that.
So let's assume, I'll even, just for the devil's advocate, right? I'll support Chad's position on this, right? Let's say in the wintertime at night they're dumping. If they've been doing that since 1992, the river has still undergone changes. In the last 3 years, right? In 2022, there was grass all over the place inside the bridge. 2023, not so much. 24, nothing. This year, even less. So that being said, it's still important to be well versed and be a active participant in what's going on,
Yes,
because
100%.
what's going to happen if this goes through is it's going to do more harm to what's already something is harmful to the river.
I'm completely against dumping. I'm talking strictly on the
The
current
thing,
runoff.
dude, the Bush River, Bush Creek still has so much grass.
No, it doesn't. There's zero grass in Bush
There
Creek.
is grass in Bush Creek.
I just fished Bush Creek 2 weeks ago. It is nothing compared to what it used to be.
It might not be. It's just. It's not the
Nothing.
same as what is
There's a
going
little
on
bit
in
of
the GP
hydro.
right
There's
now.
a little bit of hydro. It's just like the canals. There's a
I feel
little
like
bit of
the
hydro.
GP is suffering compared to other fingers of the
But
Chesapeake Bay.
is it
The
fair to
Bush
say?
River, so overall, the Bush River is way down on grass than what it was 4 or 5 years
I
ago.
was getting a
Why?
lot of I was getting a lot of grass
I don't know.
Saturday. My
If I
grass
had the
grass.
answer, I'd be working on trying to fix
There's
it.
no fucking reason for it. Like there has to be a fucking reason. Like why?
I
So
think
there's lots of
why,
but
why?
There
That's
are
what we need to
there
know.
there are lots of reasons, but there are so many things, so many variables that can affect grass growth.
What's up, Jason?
That like it may be just scientifically impossible to narrow it down.
I
to a
think that
specific reason.
you have to understand, and for the conversation, because I think both of you are correct, but I think some of the reason is shit just cycles year to year, right? Like there are lakes that are landlocked lakes that some years are good in grass and some years aren't, and it could be the winter was weird, or we got a lot of rain, or
But these
whatever.
fish kills and these algae blooms happen in the middle of the winter. What shit grows and happens to kill everything in the middle of the freaking winter?
So what?
True.
It doesn't even make sense.
So the algae the algae blooms happen when we had a warm winter. So what happens?
Every winter has a
Scientifically.
warm spell
So
in the middle of the
scientifically,
winter for a week.
Here is the scientific explanation for it. When you have a warm spell, the water warms up, algae blooms, and then you get a cold snap. It kills the algae and sucks the oxygen out of the water.
How does the algae even grow when it is not above
The algae's always there.
a certain point?
So the algae's always a certain amount of algae is always there. It doesn't just completely die off.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like it doesn't make sense to me that the algae grows when it's like 48 degrees outside, and then it dies when it's 32 degrees outside.
Same way
problem is
milfoil does.
The issue.
Milfoil, you know, any type of grass.
The
does
issue
same
is
thing.
when algae grows, it sucks up a lot of oxygen, but it
No.
also puts a lot of oxygen.
when it dies, it sucks up.
Correct.
It kills a lot of oxygen.
And so if you do have some sort of algae bloom, and like we see this on the flat, like on the Bat Channel, right? We see it a lot of times, right? The algae's nice and green, you catch a lot of fish in it. When it turns brown, the fish aren't there. Sometimes.
Yep.
So they
It
move.
sucks the oxygen when that algae dies off. That's when it sucks the oxygen out.
My
of it.
thing
And
is
that's why you see it more in the winter than in the summer, because summer the water stays warm. It doesn't. You don't get that cold snap that drops the water temperature that then kills. All
I think that
the algae.
having up and down years is.
But
somewhat-
algae is also different than grass.
I think
So-
that having up and down years on any river system is it happens, right? You have up years on certain rivers, you have up bad years on certain rivers.
What's up, Sam? Thanks for joining us, brother.
But what I think is the thing of it is that the gunpowder has had a series of years, really three years in a row where the grass is down. Now the reason for that is up to people to determine that are way smarter than us and know more about the
Correct.
ecology, right? I don't think that whatever's going to happen in Days Cove is going to help. That being said, I understand like having a landfill immediately adjacent to a river system is inherently not a good thing for the river.
What's up? We got Morgan Oliver. What's up, brother?
But
up, Morgan?
the problem is that landfill has been there for 100 years. It's not going to move. And even if it did move, you're still going to have residual issues from trash that's been dumped in the immediately adjacent land. The focus needs to be let's stop the bleeding and let's contain what we have. But that's not to say that algae blooms or shitty winters or lots of rain
Storms.
is not going to affect whatever the case. I mean, Conowingo's a good
A storm will wipe out grass. Remember, was it 2019 when the elites got canceled? It was
Yeah.
19, right?
Yeah.
This could be a result of that. It could be.
That destroyed the grass in Conowingo.
Yes.
Like,
And
destroyed it. It was gone.
Conowingo's got more grass than the fucking gunpowder at this
It didn't. It didn't.
not this year.
It did in a couple years.
It sucks this year too.
Does it?
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
it's
only
not-
fished that one.
It's not great.
I've only fished that one grass
Miles,
bed.
whenever you have something to say, make sure you're speaking to the mic, brother. Like you're
You can move that. You can
move it
moves.
however you want to.
You can move the mic itself, like however you want. Oh, somebody! I
hear me
just
now?
unplugged myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, brother. We hear you.
So down
Say
below,
whatever you wanna
down
hear.
below Muddy Creek, right?
Yep.
That whole shoreline, no grass.
There's grass there.
Not like it should be.
There's definitely
It's-
some grass there though.
it's-
It's just like the Bush
I mean,
River.
there's-
It's not
there's
the
grass
same
there.
as
The
it
best
should be.
grass is right next to Dorsey.
There's decent grass over by over below 3 Hole. I was catching
Yes.
fish out of it, so I know there's some decent
Small,
grass
dude,
over
Dude,
there.
the
It's holding
Conowingo
rats.
does not have the same
I got some
grass
decent
growth
ones out
as
of
it
it.
has. There's been way too much silt coming down from the upper states.
It's not as good as
Well,
it
it's not
was.
ju- so it's
2
not
years
just
ago,
silt either.
2 years ago is when it was really good.
Yeah. So, but 2019 when we had that big storm, it wasn't the silt because the grass was already established. When we had that
Would it
hurricane,
uproot
it just ripped it out.
Yeah.
You know, when you have that much flow, it will rip that grass out, and that's what.
Yeah.
So, the year I think it was 2017. Was it 2017? Now I'm trying to remember. I know the year I wanted the first open tournament that they had
Inside
up there
the
that year.
bridge is not full of grass the way it was years ago. It's not even comparable.
No, I
is
was-
there grass? Yeah, it is not the same.
There's some great. Me and Greg were talking about the other night. He found some grass in an area that hasn't had grass in a while, in a couple years. But yeah, Conowingo, I won a tournament up there fishing grass, and like that storm came through, and all of that grass, like all those grass beds that I was fishing were just gone.
Yeah.
Because that flow just ripped them out.
Yep.
Same thing happened when Agnes came through back in the 70s with the flats. It ripped all the grass out. And it took 20 years for that to come back. I mean, it can take a long, long time, for it to come back if a storm wipes it out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
And we've had the
just-
same
it's
issue
just-
this year with Conowingo too, with the high flow.
Yeah, it's
especially early this year
I
when the
don't know
grass
what
was
it
still
is.
growing.
Just-
When
to
the grass
say
was
that
first
to
coming
say
up this
the
year.
inside the bridge is full of grass when 4 to 5 years ago it was literally matted to the point of the flats is I think it's a crazy thing to say. It's not even close to the same.
No,
Nothing
but
is close to the same.
I agree with you. It's not. It's definitely better than it was last year. But
That
it's not
freaking
anywhere
that
close to what
mat
it
would
was 4 or
go
5
from
years
the
ago.
side all the way over to the to the Bird River, all the way over to the bridge. It would be matted full. I remember Tony fishing all the way to the outside of that grass mat, right up against the bridge almost.
Greg does make a good point. I mentioned that earlier, Greg, that the grass didn't start growing until July, and it blew my mind even up on the flats. Going there from one weekend to the next and seeing how much
I'll
more
take a
grass
Snickers,
there
Jim.
was insane. It just in 1 week it went from you can easily fish a chatterbait in this grass to you're
you
only
can't.
throwing a frog.
Yep.
Because the grass got that thick in a week. And I noticed that in the gunpowder, in the canals in the
And
gunpowder,
even
because I've only really been fishing the canals in the gunpowder.
The
But
grass that is available to fish inside the bridge is completely underwater at the high tide. It's gone. You can't even see it unless you're at low tide and outgoing tide.
some of it.
Most of it.
It's gotten real. So I know you haven't been fishing a lot in the last couple of weeks, but it's been
I went out on Wednesday and
Some of that
I
grass is
studied some of the
crazy.
areas that would be holding grass in this point in time where grass is not readily available in the gunpowder. And that is what I saw. We were on a complete high tide on the way in. You could not even see where any of this grass was.
What about-
But on the way out, when the tide was pulling out,
Yeah.
at that point you could see where some of the grass was.
So that-
was there grass? Yes, there was some grass, but was
But
it
it's not-
in the same point as
That's
it was
what-
2 years ago during the Thursdays? No, it was not even close to that.
But that's also what Greg's saying is that it's just now starting to grow. So you can see it on low tide because it's not as high as it normally is.
That's so late in the season.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
late
very
in the
late.
season.
It's very late in the season, but
now,
it's
what
been
about
that
what
way.
you have a
it's
month
been that way
to a
everywhere.
month and a half before that dies off and becomes nothing.
But it's been that way. It's been that way even up on the flats too.
No.
The grass up on the flats is
Now, how do we explain the lack of grass in Dundee?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What, Greg? What did I say that was
that you can't find the grass where it
that you
normally
don't
is.
understand? Yeah, I found
main
the
thing
grass.
that-
I
the main
knew
thing
where
we're
the
really
grass
talking
was
about,
when I
Greg,
went out on Wednesday.
The main thing we're really talking about, Greg, is between the canal mouths. That's where most of the grass was prior to a couple years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
It was from the 6 mile an hour zone coming out of Joppatown all the way over to the Bird River.
Hey, thanks for the like, Mr. Scott.
That was nothing but one big grass mat. It's matted 30 feet from the shore in
30
one
feet
area.
from the shore, it used to be matted all the way over to the fucking
Right.
train bridge from the shore.
That's
That's
what we're
the
talking.
difference.
Yeah, that's not good grass, Greg. The good grass in the gunpowder was literally from coming out of Rumsey, coming out of the Rumsey Canal, literally all the way over to where you're talking about was nothing but grass.
Now, what about the lack of grass in Dundee and Saltpeter?
Well, like Greg said, I mean, I'll agree with Greg. The cold, cloudy spring, you don't have a whole lot of sunlight. Grass needs sun to grow. So, that makes sense. That makes sense. And we had a lot of dirty water in the spring. So,
I personally think it has to do with the runoff from the building.
I think it has a
down
lot
in
to do with the
Foster.
runoff.
no, what about Dundee, though?
I don't fish down there.
I think it has
that's
a lot
what-
to
you
do
know,
with
that-
the,
I was
I think it
just
has a
talking
lot to do with
about
the
what Tony-
silt from the
I agree
buildings,
with that
and it
as
has
well.
a lot to do with the freaking draining
Foster
from
Branch,
Days Cove as a mix, and it's taking the grass out.
the pan fishing used to be so good in there. The yellow perch,
The crappie fishing was
the
awesome.
crappie was awesome.
In Foster?
And Foster,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's just
I think-
chocolate milk.
I think that
Those
while
buildings- that's-
It's like
Our
it's
entire
orange.
the entire
The water's
fishery of
orange
the
from that
gunpowder
development.
is
I know,
being
exactly,
affected by
100%.
this. The entire fishery of the gunpowder is being affected by this. Yes, I am compassionate about it. I feel a certain way about this, and no, it has nothing to do with what Greg is saying. Like, I agree with Greg to a point, and I'll talk to Greg anytime about it. It has nothing to do with that. But there is things that are happening that are out of our control that are affecting the way the grass is growing, and the aquatic grass is not the same as it has been in the past 5 years. And anybody that fishes the gunpowder, whether it be on the Thursday nighters or guys that are out there every night, or I can see it myself from somebody who I have not been fishing as much recently, but I went out and I fished on Wednesday, and you can see the pattern of high tide to low tide where this grass is. It is just the aquatic grass is not what it used to be, and
It's
that
not-
is
it's
that is a fact.
It's definitely
is
not
a
what it was
fact.
4 years ago. It's better than it was last year. As far as more coverage area, it's not as thick as it was last year because, again, like Greg said, it's grown. It came in late. Like the last 2 or 3 weeks, I mean, it's Greg even said it's been doubling like every week. It's not as high as it was or as thick as it was last year, but there's definitely more area that's covered,
Right.
which is a good thing.
Scuba Steve makes a good point. It seems like a lot of that grass is really only coming up on the Bird River side. Mm-hmm. It's coming up on the Bird River side, but where that gunpowder starts to come out, there's nothing there. But if you move over towards the Bird River side, you have more of a growth.
Yeah, and again, like I don't know exactly. You know, there are so many variables that we may not ever know. Like
They do not spray up here, Jim.
Oh yeah, 10 years ago, crystal clear. Yeah, it was insane. Milfoil everywhere.
Yeah, but we don't have any of that anymore, Greg. We don't have any. I remember it being crystal clear up to 5 years ago. I mean, don't you remember when you went out and you fished those grass patches and that boat moved up on you?
Oh, yeah.
That was 4 years ago.
Yep.
But now
We have none of that
It
anymore.
comes back to yes,
Jason.
yes. Yes, I think
Jason.
that inside the bridge you can make a case. You can certainly make a case for inside the bridge whether it's Dave's Cove or Foster Branch or whatever. But like again, when we go to Dundee, right? Dundee doesn't have grass this year. Dundee had a ton of grass last year,
I
None
would
of us
equate that.
and the year
So,
before
None
that
of
had
us
a
know
ton.
the answer to this question.
Here's my
None of us know the answer to this
no.
question.
We can make guesses at it, but like my thought with Dundee is the previous 2 winters. It was warm, and that that grass never really died off.
No, it was brown, but it was still there.
And then we got a super cold winter this winter. It froze, and
It was frozen all the way across. Yeah,
and
you
that
could walk on it.
So that's another thing. So I was talking to an old timer, and somebody who has been around the bay for a long time. When it freezes, especially if the grass freezes in the ice,
It will.
when that breaks
yeah.
up, it just rips the grass out.
Do I need one?
They're in here,
Right here?
but
They're in here.
yeah.
Oh, hello.
I bought that.
But
Save you a trip.
so yeah, so that's another thing.
I
you know,
will
if the
say this
grass-
was definitely the coldest winter that I can remember.
grass is full height. It ices over. That grass gets locked into that ice. When that ice breaks up, it rips the grass out.
I remember
You know,
like
there's so many variables.
I remember fishing
to grass.
I
growth.
remember fishing Saltpeter Creek with my uncle years ago, and after a mild winter, and you could go in the back of Saltpeter in February, and the grass was still topped out. It was brown, but it was still topped out.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, yes, if it's frozen, there's going to be issues. And to be fair, right? Like, I mean, even the duck hunting season was cut short because there was no liquid water anywhere.
Right.
Like you couldn't even get out. So I think that I would agree that has a lot to do with it. I think that inside the bridge is one thing, but from Maxwell beyond, like the Dundee area, I don't know what Seneca looks like in terms of grass. I know there's usually a lot of grass.
Yeah,
in
rub
Seneca.
it in, Josh. Just rub it in.
I don't know what Seneca looks like in terms of grass. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not.
I haven't been into Seneca.
What's up, John?
I
We
think
got
it's-
John Scungio and Joshua. Thanks, Joshua, for joining.
I
Or
think
it's
it's.
John.
I think
Did I go
it's
down there
na-
this year?
I think it's natural for certain rivers and certain tributaries to cycle on and off in terms of grass. It is natural.
Well, yeah, because of environmental factors, right?
Yes.
Cold winters, cloudy, muddy.
Right.
High rains. There's a lot of things that can affect grass.
Yeah, me and Miles fished Conowingo until this year more than pretty much anybody. And this year, like, the place has sucked.
It's terrible.
But I think you can say it sucked, but you can also say that it sucked because, one, the water, there's no grass. There is grass. It's little. However, I think the more important thing, not to completely change the conversation, is that the water went from 70 degrees to 88 to 90 degrees like that.
Yeah.
And I think things like that matter. And if it matters for fish, it matters for grass, right? Like grass, and it's like if
I don't think that. I honestly, I don't think that makes as big a difference as the dirty water up there on the grass. The dirty water.
That's another thing. It was dirty
it
for
has
a while.
been
'Cause we had
dirty a
all
lot.
that
It was
rain
dirty
this
for
spring.
it was dirty for a while, and it never stayed the same.
Yep.
They were constantly either filling it or dropping it, filling it and dropping it. And I don't think the fish ever got acclimated.
Yeah.
Well, and when you get a snap, like a temperature change like that, that's a real quick temperature change. Like
and
that
the water-
always.
and
What's
then
up?
the
What's
water-
up, Trevor
the water
Smith?
drops
Thanks for
3
joining,
feet.
buddy. We have Trevor says long time no see. Good to see Trevor.
I think, I would agree with what Miles just said. Is that the natural, like the up and down, makes a difference.
It does.
And it's just one of those things where, like, I mean, really, like today was comfortable outside, but like the last 2 weeks ago, you didn't want to be outside.
was scorching hot.
It was ridiculous. So, and it was most of June. It was ridiculous.
Hi,
most of
Caitlin.
July, it was ridiculous.
Last weekend, it was like a high of what, 77?
Oh, it was
Yeah.
nice. It was
Last
beautiful
Saturday?
last weekend.
Yeah.
Last Saturday, I was busy running 12 miles. I wasn't fishing.
I went grabbing.
Grass
And they got
needs
towed
so. Greg says grass needs certain nutrients. I grow water plants in my turtle ponds. I have to fertilize them to stay good. But those nutrients get washed out of the gunpowder when you dump chemicals through the entire ecosystem.
Well, they may not necessarily get washed out. They could get.
Yeah, but
it could
pond's
be
different
a.
than a estuary.
It also gets
it's all-
washed
I mean,
out
it's all-
when you have a ton
it's
of
all
That is
basic
completely
tide
different
and
when you
current.
have a turtle pond that you're taking care of compared to the gunpowder.
What
I
he's
agree.
saying is like all he's saying is the grass has to have certain conditions to
Yes.
grow right.
Yes,
That-
yes,
that's-
it
that's
does.
the point.
110%. He's correct.
Yeah.
Right. Totally
And-
agree with him.
And if they're not, and he makes a good point. Like if there's something that changed that they're not that maybe farther up the gunpowder is not pulling in the same amount of nutrients that it was, and depositing them like on that flat, that could have
Trev.
something to do with it.
Trev's asking, do you ever get that 19 AP dialed in and you still running 50 miles an hour? Trev, I'm still running 50 to 52 miles an hour, brother.
The other thing too that to think about this year it seems like we have had a lot of rain in that
Stupid amounts of rain.
in that critical growing season.
Yes.
So you could have grass that's maybe a half inch to an inch tall. If it rains enough, it's going to rip that shit out, or it's going to cover it up.
You get enough current, yeah.
Patrick, let me know. Get in
blew a lot
contact
in
with
the
me.
spring,
Send me
too.
a message.
Yeah.
We'll
Wendell-
talk about it, brother.
That's a
Thank
good
you for
point.
joining.
Wendell Terror. That's
That's a
another
really
that's a good
good
point.
Every weekend it was blowing.
Remember the amount of wind we had this
Yeah.
year? Wind. Well, I mean,
Yes.
wind will rip out grass too. What? I mean, it started
Oh,
up.
hell
rips it
yeah,
out,
it will.
And we had a ton of wind. I mean, it's like I swear every time
It was every weekend.
every time I went out, it was 130 miles an hour.
Especially,
And then during the week it would be beautiful.
yeah, especially
For
this
like 5
year.
weekends
That's
in a row.
actually a really good point. And we're talking about the gunpowder. There's a lot of really shallow areas. I mean, if you have a 5, 6, 7 foot area, it's not as affected. But like if you're talking 2 feet or 3 feet high tide or less, that's going to be affected by the wind a lot more than the flats, which is deeper or whatever. And admittedly, I haven't been out as much because my boat issues that everyone's aware of. But I mean, I would say that the southern end of the flats this year seem to be as established, if not more established, early this year than they have been in the past. Like I remember going out to fish club tournaments in May, and guys were going to the southern end of the flats, where they weren't usually going there until June, July.
Last year it was good too.
That's
where SummerSlam was won.
there was so much. There was
That was
so much.
May.
There was so much grass on the flats in May this year that was stupid.
Well, same with last year.
I mean,
last year was phenomenal.
from about Battery Island all the way across to the northeast was nothing but milfoil in May. I mean, literally from like one side to the other. It was crazy.
Yeah.
There was so much grass out there that it was almost hard to find the fish.
You remember, what was that? 2 years ago. Was it last year or 2 years ago? SummerSlam.
It would have been that me and you fished.
Yeah.
That would have been last year because we had this. I had the skeeter.
Yes. Yes. So the grass that we fished,
Yeah,
it was phenomenal.
yeah.
We caught a bunch of fish in it.
We did.
And then
They were-
and then we abandoned it. They weren't the right ones.
Well, I mean, they were all 2-pounders, so.
but it was plentiful. The grass was just as good as
All the grass out on the flats is completely good and it's healthy compared to if you go up towards the GP. Then the aquatic grass dies off.
But you see a
It's
lot of.
completely different.
But that could be a that could be a
should
salinity
That
thing,
should be
too.
the hint right there.
That
the
could be a
shit that's
salinity.
going on. It could.
There's a what, like I said, there are so many. There's so many factors that can play into grass growth that we may never be able to specifically pinpoint what
Why
caused
was
the death of
the?
the grass.
I just want to know why was the grass so healthy for so long and so thick
Well, it
from
wasn't.
the Bird River all the way to the train bridge, and then it just died, and there was
So
the
Greg,
bare minimum.
Greg probably remembers this. Like, this was like 7 or 8 years ago.
Dude, the fish in the GP is not what it was before the fish kill, and it
No, there's a
never
lot.
will be.
Numbers. So numbers wise,
Yeah, they're all
this
small.
This is the best. Numbers wise, this is the best I've ever seen the GP. Size wise, it's way down.
Still not the same as before the fish kill.
Oh, before the fish kill, like 8 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
still not the same as before the fish.
It's close though. I mean, we call it like 45 fish one day by like 12 o'clock. It was stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I'm saying is, Greg, do you remember like 7 years ago when all of the milfoil outside the bridge died? I mean, so outside the bridge where like 3 years ago, where it was all eelgrass and hydrilla, 7 years ago, that was all milfoil.
But Paul,
And then it just died.
Even that line of grass that goes from the gunpowder on the other side of the train bridge to Edgewood Proving Grounds.
That's what I'm talking about.
It doesn't exist anymore.
There was 7 years ago that same thing happened, and then it came back and it was all milfoil. It came back eelgrass and hydrilla. 7 years ago there was milfoil. I mean, from the milfoil, just milfoil, from the bridge all the way over to past the boat launch over there.
That's all we can pray for is that comes back.
And then
because
it just
aquatic
died. It was
life-
there 2 weeks. And this is how fast it happened. So we fished it 2 weeks ago. I fished a Mr. Bass tournament. I was with Ed Riley, and we ran up to the flats. Not much. It just wasn't going on up there. And Ed asked me, he was like, you got any places down closer to the ramp? We launched out of Dundee. So I was like, yeah, there's some good grass over outside the bridge. Just down from the bridge. And when we got there, what was topped out milfoil 2 weeks before was bare dirt.
No.
Yeah.
You guys are right.
Yeah, it's just there's so many factors. But like I was saying, it went in 2 weeks. It went from topped out milfoil to bare dirt, and that was not in the spring. That was in like late May. So it was already established. It was topped out. On low tide, you have milfoil laying over top the water, and it just fucking died.
Until the aquatic grasses come back the way that it was 5 years ago to 6 years ago, it'll never be the same. The sizes, the bags, everything will never be the same. The
think a lot of them left.
Thursday nighters
It used
during
to-
those times were a lot more.
You used to need 10 pounds
It
to get a
was-
check.
Oh yeah,
Like it would like 10 pounds.
Right.
10 pounds to get a check.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I remember those
It's
days.
not. It's not,
Jeez
dude. If
whiz.
you get 10 pounds now, you're taking first ever.
There's only been two, I think two this year, that over 10 pounds has been caught.
I remember 3 years ago catching 10 pounds, 3 tournaments in a row, and not winning or not getting a check. It was like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is crazy.
Right, we were catching, 11 to 13 pounds.
Yeah. I think there were some 14s and almost 15s in that year.
Correct, Trevor. That's kind of where I'm with Trevor at.
There was one 14.
If the cycles are disturbed via human interference, shit resets, and it doesn't reset the same way as what it was before. It takes time.
Yes.
More time.
No, I agree.
And now we have this whole entire thing with Days Cove Permit trying to dump directly into the river.
Which does not help
And
anything.
that's not going to help anything whatsoever.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
That's going to set us backwards, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. Tony, to your comment about the weights, there's been one 14-pound bag ever and one 15-pound bag ever.
They were in the same year though.
I can't remember if they were in the same year or not. One was last year. No, it was
you
two,
talking about
2 years ago.
Thursday?
Tyler. 2 years ago, Tyler and
They
Logan.
ran to the flats.
No, they called it. Tyler and Logan called him off the train
Off
bridge.
the bridge,
They had 14 pounds.
Yeah.
Last year in the summer solstice,
Yeah,
Victor
it was
and
14.
Logan was caught 15 and a
Shit,
half
it was
on
last year,
flats.
the year before, it was Logan and Victor.
Last
Ran
year.
to the flats. They caught a shitload of them, and they came up and they fished the train bridge.
No.
Yeah.
No, they
They-
started at the train bridge because
No.
they passed.
No. He's talking about Victor. They ran to the flats. It was last
Yeah,
year.
they
Oh,
ran
yeah,
to the
no.
flats.
It was a solstice last year. They ran to the flats.
Yes.
We watched them leave early. I mean,
The
they were
year-
up there for they were there for 30 minutes. It was stupid. And we because I was up on the flats too, and we saw them running back down, and then they just went down and fished the train bridge.
I thought they won the first two.
They may
Yeah.
have.
It was
fished
2
the
years
first
ago. Because I was still in a John boat because they passed me.
No.
Yes.
No.
They
2
passed
year-
me and went
No.
right to the bridge.
No. It was the
No,
year I
you're-
fished with Chad.
Tyler. That's Tyler and
Yes.
Logan. Tyler and Logan.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
2 years
wasn't
ago.
the solstice though.
No, that was two.
That was-
yeah,
yeah,
that
that
was
was in
that was a regular
2022.
Thursday nighter.
That
It was
was
the second. It was the
because
second
the
2023,
year
yeah.
the year that Victor and Logan won, I fished.
That
it
was
with,
last year.
I fished it with Chad, and I seen you in one of the creeks I wanted to fish.
Last year.
Last year?
No.
I don't think I fished
It
it.
was
He didn't
last
fish it
year.
last year.
No, I think it was. It was either 23 or 24.
Last year was when Victor and Logan had 15 and a half.
That was the year I fished with Chad.
Actually, I did fish then.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, you were in
Yeah.
my creek and didn't
And-
catch him, and
and-
then I went into the creek and called him. I was like, "This is the wrong size anyway."
Yeah,
Threw-
exactly.
Fucking threw it
I
back.
probably didn't put them in the box.
Well, if you
Yeah,
would have
if-
put
If
the
you're
box,
running
it
to the
wouldn't
flats,
have helped
you're not going to win if you got guys running to the flats.
Well,
It's not going to happen.
in 2022,
That's what
you
I'm like.
would've.
No.
When you go fish the solstice
No.
and you have 3 to 4 boats that are going
You
to
gotta
run to
run
the flats,
30 miles.
there's no fucking point. It's like at that point, you might as well just load your boat up and leave.
I didn't fish it this year.
You're not going to outfish 4 boats that run to the flats to fish.
Not unless
You're
you
not
get-
going to.
Not unless you get really,
Not in the GP. It's not, going to
unless you
happen.
get you
It's not
you
happening.
got to get lucky. I mean, you catch it.
What,
you know,
12, 13 pounds and you still won't win.
you
Right.
And that's a phenomenal bag.
if somebody runs to the flats, generally, I would say that they're going to have 13 pounds.
You're getting a 5 and 2 4s. 13 pounds.
Right.
Now, it's
So
one of the reasons
you got to get
that-
lucky and catch one
It's
that's like
one
a
of the
5 and a
reasons
half
that
down
I
here.
chose to
Oh, you
not
gotta get
to
lucky.
fish
really
this year.
hard.
Why fish the Thursday
has that
nighters
happened?
if you're going to have guys for the first couple tournaments of the year just run down to the
I
flats?
chose
should
not
be-
to
it
You're
fish
should
not
be
going to
capped.
compete against that.
It should be capped at
I,
Gunpowder, Dundee,
the bush.
Bush,
The bush should be in play.
Bird,
I've won.
Middle River,
Sassafras.
whatever.
So I just want to say that I've won multiple Thursday nighters this year, and people ran to the flats in all of those tournaments, and I still won. I haven't
That's
ran.
true.
I haven't fished outside the bridge all year.
Has anybody? This is completely just off the wall, random. So we know the Sass plays in the spring. Does anyone fish the Sass this time of year in Chester County?
I have. I mean, I
Not-
fished in club.
not this
We
late.
used to have club tournaments over there in August, September, and it usually sucked. It was usually really tough, but
I
you
feel like
catch
a
some
lot
big
of
fish.
places also suck
I fished
this
it-
year, though.
I fished it once, probably 15 years ago.
So I won many years ago. We had an August tournament in the Sass, and I won with 2 fish. Now, they were 2 5-pounders, but that was the only 2
That's
fish
still
that I caught.
impressive.
That's the only 2 fish that I caught.
Yeah,
that I caught.
you go, Paul.
The
It was
problem with the Sass is it doesn't get stocked. It doesn't get restocked like other places do. I really feel like that
If
affects.
anything,
No, it does.
If anything, it gets cleared out. more than it gets
Delaware
restocked.
TBF and Delaware Bass Nation have host all their tournaments out of Turners.
But is it getting
That's true.
is
Most
it
of those
getting
guys run.
is it getting restocked more than it's getting picked?
Yeah, most of those guys run to the flats.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
And how many guys run to the Sassafras in a Chester County or a.
It depends on the time of year, but there's
Yeah, like Greg's fished the same place, the same
many.
exact spot.
There's
He's
a
been the money in
handful.
everyone.
There's a hand. I mean,
I thought Greg was selling his boat. I'm surprised he still has it. To be honest,
Me and
with
Greg
you.
have been doing the same thing. Like, we literally fish like both like different spots, but we fish like one singular spot in all the Thursday nighters.
don't forget
No,
about
the bullet
the,
is not back on the water fishing for dollars.
It's getting fixed.
But as far as the status,
But don't forget about that SQT in 2021 in November, where the boater had 22 and the rider had 16 pounds, 3 fish.
yes,
That was awesome. That was really cool to see, and that was out of the Sass.
kind of,
But a lot of those fish were from the Sass.
kind of.
I know what you're talking about, but it was.
It was
What's
kind of
up,
the Sass.
Steven? Thanks for joining, brother.
That the Sass.
You're in the middle of a heated conversation.
It was-
Let's go.
They can't. We'll put it this way: they came out of grass.
Yes,
There's grass in the Sass.
lots of.
Or at least at the mouth.
There used to be.
There used to be.
Bingo.
The one time I fished it, we fished the grass at the mouth.
got a
You
beer.
you hit the nail on the head.
But it's good for.
But
Like,
as
a
far as the
certain
Sass
period
goes,
of
like
time.
as far as the Sass goes,
Thank you.
I mean, you can like year round you can catch big fish over there. It's just it gets really tough in the summertime.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to fish over there in the summertime. I mean, you'll. I
Is
think
it
the
still
biggest
pads like crazy over there in the summertime?
there are. I think the biggest bag that we ever had in a club tournament when we had our summer tournaments over there. Frank had 15 pounds one year. Out of the Sass, because we used to limit it to just the Sass. Like you couldn't go out of the Sass. So
It's pretty good. I mean, I feel like the Sass. I feel like it gets the same. I feel like you have in May, end of April, May. I feel like you have as good a chance of catching a 20-pound bag out of the Sass than you do out of the gunpowder in that same time of year.
much better. You just spill beer on your keyboard.
Do you think you have a better chance of catching fish out of
Even
the?
worse.
You feel like you have a better chance of catching 20 pounds in the Sass versus the gunpowder?
Of course.
Yeah.
Like a lot better.
Yeah.
At least
What time of year?
in the springtime. He said in the springtime.
I'm saying middle of April to middle of May.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
At least 50 times better.
I would say year round.
50
honestly.
times better. That's a lot.
I would say that
A lot of fish spawn in there.
Oh yeah, I mean
And
for sure.
in the areas of the
Yes,
spawn in
for
are
the
every-
Sass fish is really
very
small. though.
condensed.
The fish is very small.
I would almost bet that for every 20-pound bag that you caught out of the Sass in the springtime, you would have to fish the gunpowder 50 times to catch a bag that big. In that same period of time.
I would disagree with that.
As big or catch a 20-pound bag?
20 pounds.
I would disagree with that.
I think you could do it.
17,
less-
18?
less than-
Absolutely. You can
I
get
think-
17, 18 pounds in it.
A 20-pound
No problem.
bag out in the GP is incredibly hard.
I think
Yes.
you could do it less
It's
than
incredibly hard, dude.
Less than 50.
No.
Like, dude, if like I have fished the gunpowder more than I have fished any body of water, period. And to come across a 20-pound bag in the gunpowder,
I've seen plenty of 20-pound bags coming out of the gunpowder.
it is
Yeah.
that is very, very difficult to do.
I mean, we had
It can be done, but it is not a normal thing to
I
be
think
done.
it could be done. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think it could be done less than 50 outings.
it depends on when you know when to hit it.
I don't know,
Exactly.
man.
I know
It's very difficult.
knowing when to hit it.
Yeah.
Knowing when to hit it.
'Cause
Even
we're-
then,
we're
I still
talking
think
this-
you're gonna have to take because most of those trips are gonna catch 15 to 16 pounds.
I know what you're talking about, and I do agree. But
Springtime, you're gonna catch 15 to 16 pounds.
Yeah.
Now, your best chance of
That's
catching
tough.
a
That's a
20-pound
tough one.
bag is going to be the quarry of the pond
And that this yeah
in that time period. But you're going to have to catch them exactly right when they're up, when they're on the bank.
They're filled out.
That's going to be your best best strat.
They're ready to pop.
They're ready to pop. They're going to spawn. Yes, we know, Greg.
Those are
You-
huge. Those are huge bags back there, dude. That's a massive bag in 2015.
the biggest
No.
difference.
Yeah,
It
that
wasn't.
was before the fish.
That was
though.
that was also before everybody and their aunt and uncle knew about the pond.
Right.
The biggest difference
Back
between
then, you could go in Foster Branch and catch 20 pounds in the middle of summer.
the
back
difference
then.
between the Sass and
Greg
the
also caught a
gunpowder.
30-pound bag out of the pond in that period of time.
That's
Is that
disgusting.
legit?
That is fucking disgusting.
That's awesome, actually. I think the biggest difference between the Sass and the gunpowder is the Sass is just a lot bigger. than the gunpowder. It's just a much larger sect of a fishery, if you want to
Well,
call
yeah.
it that.
Yeah, I think it probably has more fish in it.
Oh yeah, I would.
You know, from
yeah.
as a whole, you know, from one end to the other, it's probably got more fish in it.
I do think that the same time, like, we're not going to say it on here. The
But
same
yeah.
time that the gunpowder gets good, there are certain areas of the SAS that are really, really good at the same, at like the
Well,
same
here's the
time period.
here's
where
the
you
difference.
can just go and just smoke them.
The biggest difference between the SAS and the gunpowder in that time of year is you have a legitimate opportunity to catch 1/6 in the SAS. You do not have that same probability in the gunpowder.
No.
Are they there? Yeah, absolutely.
And you have a
But if you
greater
fi-
chance on the flats.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the SAS is just it's just better.
That's a good point Miles brings up, is I have actively chased, like, over the years, I have actively chased throughout multiple times a year areas that where you can go and just do better than the flats, and it just doesn't exist. It
Of
just,
course not.
It doesn't exist.
Why would it?
And I tried. I really did. Like,
Why would it? All of the bait is
Right.
there.
I tried. in
You have
April,
the biggest biomass of bait.
Like, I tried.
So you're going to have the biggest biomass of fish.
Like April, May, and June, I tried to put together big bags in the gunpowder, the SAS, the bush, like anywhere, and like you
I will say-
cannot beat the flats up until really September.
We had like a
Like
when did we have that?
Yeah, but then you could go smallmouth fish.
We had a TBF tournament. We had
October,
a TBF tournament a couple years ago. I can't remember.
Black Friday.
I can't remember when it was. It was late in the year. It was like late summer, and a 20-pound bag came out of the gunpowder.
When was that?
It was it was either August or early September.
So remember in when was the Open in 2020?
And they came out of the quarry.
21
I mean-
or 22. The gunpowder played in the Open.
It was 2 years ago.
2023 then.
Yeah.
The gunpowder does fish good
Same with the bush.
later.
But
There was guys.
no,
in the
it's not
bush,
that
too.
it. But it's not that it fished good. It's just the flats fish bad that time of year.
Well, yeah, but the flats is notoriously tough in September.
Right.
So-
So going down and catching, you know, I mean, I think it took
It was like 13 pounds.
like 13 pounds a day to make the top 10.
Yeah. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Chad Pipkins did pretty good. He was right by the
By
the
Trambridge.
Amtrak.
That's where he fished in the Open in 2015. He fished the same spot.
It's where he fished the
It's
Elite
that
Series. It's
little
where he was out on the flats this year in the Open.
He didn't do
He
shit
didn't do
this
any
year,
good
right?
though.
I mean, average. Yeah,
Average ain't good enough.
yeah. No, they were
He didn't-
smashing them this year.
I know. And he didn't do good on St. Clair either.
You know what was sick?
Nah,
that
the wind.
that tournament that we fished.
That wind got
Flats
him on
this year.
St. Clair.
That was sick.
we were
dude.
one butt away.
I know. Well, we had the bite. I missed them. Oh god, that bothers me, dude.
You know what?
That
you know
really
what-
bothers me to this
You know what's
day.
sick about the flats is Eric Sellenberger and Roland Giddings caught 25.5 pounds in a Friday tournament and got second.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
suck.
there was like 3 25-pound bags, or like one of them may have
was-
been 26.
It was
It's
20,
something-
almost 27.
yeah,
Dude,
it was
when
something
we-
crazy, yeah.
When we fished that tournament in May, and like, we went back to Northeast.
That's what you know.
we
What,
had
I'm
four
just saying,
fish.
like at the right time of the year, that would makes one of the Bassmaster Opens would be so good. On
It was.
Chesapeake Bay, dude.
It was.
It was very
Didn't you
good.
just see the last one?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
Dude, they
it
were
was great.
smashing
Like,
them.
why would they not come back for that?
They will.
They
Like
will.
that
Yeah,
was so
100%
good.
will.
every other
100%
year.
will.
Every other year, I think.
I mean, they were smashing them this year.
The funniest
22
part.
pounds.
The funniest part about that tournament
Consistent. Like,
is
you had-
Which that's a lot for a solo for a solo tour. Like, so if you take like
and to do
what-
that, what, 3 days in a row?
if you take a team tournament
Not being a local?
on most bodies of water, take a team tournament. If you look at the weights from a team tournament, you can take 2 to 3 pounds off of that to get your weight for what a solo
Yeah.
would be.
yeah.
So, you know, catching, a guy fishing solo catching 22 pounds is essentially a 25-pound bag in a team tournament.
3 days in a row.
Right.
It's pretty impressive.
That's very
Yeah.
impressive. Super. I mean, it's crazy.
The fun
how
part
good it
about
was
that
fishing
tournament
this
that we fished in the spring is that like we had almost 20
And-
pounds, but it was still a grind.
Oh, and they just
Yeah.
just throwing it out there. They didn't have ideal conditions either in that, and they
Right,
were
it
still
was
catching
blowing,
it.
It was
right?
blowing, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was blowing from the south, and it was holding the water up.
tide, yep.
Yeah.
So the water never
It
the
never
water
ended
never
up
dropped
dropping
out.
out. And the guys that fished had a later draw ended up doing better.
Yeah, on the first day. The second day,
Yes.
the water never went out.
That shit was funny. That tournament in the morning.
The best
Dude, I just got bit. I'm
best
coming
part
back
was-
in there.
well, we figured out what the bite was, and we went back in
And
the same area.
Yeah, and it happened again. Yeah.
I caught one almost 5. You had one over 5.
That was a grind though, because the problem with that tournament is that we knew where they were, but because of what was going on, you couldn't get your bait in 80% of the areas where they were. And it was super frustrating.
I think they would only
It was super frustrating.
they would only eat one bait.
They would, yeah. There was
Because
one.
we ran.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was really annoying. It was one presentation and one cast, and if there was shit in the way, you could not get there. Like you couldn't cast in it, or you couldn't feel the bite, or you couldn't get them out, and it just it sucked because at the end of the day we went back to the river to towards the ramp, and I hooked one, and it was a good one, and I missed it, and then Miles caught one, and I was like, oh
yeah.
we're good
I
now.
about that.
But the shitty.
I got 3 back to back to back.
The shitty part of it is the one that I missed might have
done it.
Might have done it. Like, and it sucks because it come off.
SummerSlam was tough. It was
I-
blowing. It was blowing.
Yeah, it was
its ass
blowing. It
off.
was blowing its ass off. I left the one area that I knew had decent fish in it because I just couldn't. Like I just
my
couldn't.
trolling motor was coming out. I mean,
I couldn't fish it anymore. Like, I mean, it was like almost impossible. The wind was blowing so hard where I was that it was almost impossible to cast.
I was out in the middle of the flats.
I was on the east side of the flats.
I started over there.
I
Actually,
like I caught like a 3.5 pounder on my third cast. I'm like, okay, like we're good. And then like we fished around and the wind just steadily picked up.
I forget what we had. We had a couple good ones, but
We didn't have shit.
we actually stumbled in one area.
We dumped our fish on the back channel. We only had
We stumbled
we had
on
like,
one area. We made the same cast
I think we had like 13 pounds.
over and over again, and we probably caught 20, 30 fish. We didn't even practice there. Just random cast. Tom hooked like a 3. I throw in, it was like a 2.
Yeah, you guys did pretty well.
I think we got 9th,
Yeah.
like 15, 16.
You got 9th.
It didn't take much. I mean, there's a lot of 6.
If you
there's
got,
a lot
I
of
mean,
16, 17, 18.
You got a top.
18 was 3rd place.
You got a top 10 out of 170 boats or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's pretty stout.
Oh, what you talking about SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I was trying to see. I know Mac and another guy from my club had a huge bag.
They had
this
a
spring
huge bag in the spring, yeah.
and
I
got
saw that.
second.
Yeah.
They,
I mean, they had, like,
I
what,
can't remember. They
24
had
they had,
24
like-
or 26.
Yeah, it was one or the other. It wasn't 25. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
somebody, I
was a
think somebody had
monster.
27 that day.
It was a monster bag.
It's ridiculous.
The flats is so good this year.
It's a factory, dude.
I
And
had-
then the best part about it is everyone says, "Oh, you can't fish during the spawn." Every year, it still just continues to pump out massive. It's truly one of the best fisheries around.
I had a
It
stretch.
really is.
I had a stretch this spring, like it would have been I guess in April because the last day that I fished up there was on Easter. That I think I went either 6, 7, or 8 trips in a row, like one of them without having less than 20 pounds.
That's
Like
awesome.
just in a row. Like every time you went up there, it was just go out, the wind's blowing his ass off. Just go out there, throw a spinnerbait, catch 20 pounds.
I can't wait to go up there this fall.
That's not where you want to go this fall. You know where you want to go this fall.
No, I'm gonna be in Northeast.
Yeah.
I want to catch.
Yeah.
I gotta
You
catch
go to the
one. I gotta
Nanaco,
catch one
that's
over
where-
7.
Go to the Nanacoke. That's what it
There,
is.
there,
Yeah, dude,
there are
the
multiple
Nanacoke's
like
great.
Spring.
like 27, 28 pound bags in
Springtime.
the fall.
Springtime's when you catch your
Most in the
7
winter.
pounders.
Really.
It was close
Early
to winter.
winter.
Yes.
Yeah. Like early December
Yes.
time frame.
Yep.
I will
Late
say though,
November.
like we're
finally-
already
I finally caught my 7 from the bay this year.
we're,
Yeah, I haven't.
we're already honed in on the shit for the winter time on Conolinga this year.
Yeah.
That's a sensitive topic. We can't talk about that.
Hey.
We're not supposed to talk about that.
I've got some areas that I've found that I want to check out this winter.
Me and Maz have been fishing up there for the last, I would say, 3 years in the winter religiously. We got a couple areas where we put it together. A piece of the puzzle this year, a piece of the puzzle next year, a big fish on live scope the following year, and then it's like
I got that one area. I think we
probably should have fished that a little bit more.
did we fish together this year? We went up there one day this
We
year.
went
didn't
up like early June. Yeah, early June we went up.
Yeah,
there.
when I was practicing.
Yeah, we had a
that
really
one-
a
that
lot of
one-
fun. Yeah.
That one stretch that I fished it, where that point runs down and then like you go or like they got a winner there in that channel.
I'll tell you after the show.
Yeah, I'm not talking about where.
Yeah, there's a pattern that we've kind of like dialed it in, and it's like, oh, okay.
See you later, Jason.
See you, Jason. Yeah, it's about that time.
Jason, next week it's time for DDP and
DDP.
DDP and
What's
Oh,
DDP?
your fights. They're talking
the
about UFC.
UFC fights.
I
Oh,
was like, are you talking about Diamond Dallas Page?
But yeah, we're getting ready to wrap it up here as well.
I thought you were talking about WrestleMania.
Like Diamond Dallas Page is coming back?
Diamond Dallas Page is gonna open up a can of whoop ass on somebody.
We're doing it here at the house, so get ready for that. DDP and fucking God, I'm just like brain farting the same.
So like, all right, if you have
Kamayev, or
if you
whatever
have
the fuck his name is.
if you have a UFC watch party, will you have a WrestleMania watch party?
No.
Why?
Miles, we're getting ready to turn it up, so you might as well just sit down.
Are you out? Yeah, we're calling it.
We're calling it
a
a
day.
night.
Yeah.
So we're calling it a night, y'all. It's time to go.
All right, guys. Tune in. I have two things to say
Yep.
before we go out. One, tune in next week. We'll have the Gunpowder River Keeper and possibly Mr. Scott Sewell on.
Yep.
And two, Scott Sewell wanted me to mention that next week, Thursday nighter, 5:30. If they have less than 10 boats, that will be the last one. So everybody come out so we can keep them going on for a little bit longer this summer.
All right, y'all.